That anger is seething. You can almost touch it.
It's not being the October Republicans were hoping to wake up to.
I always knew he was a sexist pig. I always knew he was a dog.
Dreams of a new dawn in a Donald Trump America, dreams that to many working people seemed so real even a few weeks ago, are evaporating like a morning dew in warm sunlight. And for some, the awakening has been unimaginably rude.
I don't know anyone who sexually assaults women. I don't know anyone who does that.
In some cases, the most trusted voices, those of conservative talk radio,
You're on the Hugh Hewitt Show.
are abandoning ship.
I'm not going to sit here and tell you I think Donald Trump is going to win. I think he should withdraw.
And if not,
I absolutely can't think of anything worse right now for our country than Hillary getting into power.
that is the conundrum for some Republicans, but by no means most of them.
Donald Trump and I are going to fight for it and make it a reality.
Here in small-town Western Virginia, Trump's running mate Mike Pence draws a small but enthusiastic afternoon crowd of several hundred. Many, like the sisters Charlene Yeagle and Janice Gray, couldn't care less about salacious stories of Trump and women.
That's unimportant.
That's
there are bigger issues.
Yeah.
Trump speaks for them, they say, and if he loses the election next month, they'll know why. Now, if he doesn't win, who do you blame for that?
The Republicans.
The establishment in Washington, because they're afraid for him to win, because it's going to rock their boat.
It's all about
it's going to take away all their little benefit. He's going to put a stop to this stuff, and they don't want it.
I am furious that they are jeopardizing this election and the success of this election by abandoning our candidate.
Father, we pray for Mr. Trump and Governor Pence.
It looks as though Trump will lose and thus set off a crisis between those who think Trump is who the party should be and those who shudder at the thought. Like most sudden political crises, this one has been years in the making. It was all foreshadowed in books like these over a generation. Note the titles and the single author. The starting point for E.J. Dionne's investigations of politics is not with the big personalities who lead. It has always been with those who follow, the ever-changing American voter.
The Republican Party has been going through a civil war on and off for quite some time.
The traditional base of the Republican Party is dwindling. White, college-educated Americans used to lean Republican, and working-class Americans lean Democratic.
The most striking thing about this election is that Donald Trump, from the right, not the left, has drawn a kind of class line across American politics, that he is the candidate of Americans who didn't go to college.
The Republican base has become whiter and less educated, and at the same time home to a larger and larger dissident wing.
I think Trump came along and really put together two big pieces of this, 2 or 3 big pieces of this dissident wing of the party. He put together obviously there's racial feeling there with birtherism. There's the strong and harsh anti-immigrant feeling. Then overlapping with that is the anger in the Republican working class, saying, what's in it for us? And Trump spoke directly for them. This is a very different party from the Wall Street CEO kind of Republican Party. And now it's all coming out in the open again.
That this election's not a normal election.
Some of this was apparent during the primary season, when establishment Republicans saw Trump take their party away from them, and conservatives who thought they were the anti-establishment wing of the party saw that their ideology simply didn't matter in the new Trump reality.
All of us are here today because our country's in crisis.
Senator Ted Cruz campaigned for conservative purity, but none of Trump's people cared for it. Cruz's director of communications in those early days was Rick Tyler.
Well, the party's splitting, and it's ostensibly splitting between the establishment and this new coalition. I call it the Breitbart wing, because Steve Bannon, who was head of Breitbart before he joined the Trump campaign, he has coalesced this group around Trump, and they have a particular way they like to win campaigns, which is, win at all costs.
Breitbart refers to the alt-right website Breitbart.com, that's a platform to anti-immigrant and white nationalist voices. Breitbart's former chief, Stephen Bannon, is now the head of Trump's campaign. Winning at all costs means that Trump is now at war against the entire political establishment that he used to fund, both Democrats and Republicans. And at war, too, against the mainstream media that he courted most of his life.
The establishment and their media enablers wield control over this nation through means that are very well known.
This is Palm Beach last week.
Anyone who challenges their control is deemed a sexist, a racist, a xenophobe, and morally deformed. They will attack you. They will slander you. They will seek to destroy your career and your family. The Clintons are criminals. Remember that. They're criminals.
Many Republicans look at the new base of their grand old party with fear.
Start the heart of America again.
Remember the days when Fox News host Glenn Beck was considered by many to be on the fringe of the Republican Party. Here he is in 2009 talking about Barack Obama.
This president, I think, has exposed himself as a guy over and over and over again who has a deep-seated hatred for white people or the white culture. I don't know what it is.
Now Beck is warning that the Breitbart wing Trump leads is a threat to America.
I warned about this. You know, when they were mocking me for bringing up Nazis, the reason why I did many of the times was to warn about the rise of the uber right in Europe that would bleed into America, and it's happening.
Exploiting racial insecurity was a direct play for the votes of older white males with high school education, and Trump went right for it. But the result is that Trump's famously lucrative brand, now attached to the Republican Party, might actually kill it.
That's all true, isn't it? I mean,
yeah, it's absolutely true. I mean, if the Republican Party decides that it's going to be, that Donald Trump is a new brand of Republicanism, we won't have a national party. It'll just go the way of the Whigs. It'll be it'll just be a small minority party.
There are some things that are not new about this.
You've always had, ever since our Civil Rights Act, a white backlash against race, which played a real role in the party. And then in the last 10 years or so, you've had a real backlash against immigration.
The party establishment had intended to set a different course after the last election, to try to reach out to ethnic voters and expand its base. Trump has moved in the opposite direction.
It's the most overt appeal to racial insecurity that we've seen since George Wallace, no? And it worked.
Yeah, it's a shame.
A long fight for the soul of the party lies ahead, and a big part of that party, maybe the biggest part, will still look to Trump as its champion. Keith Bogue, CBC News, Washington.